morning, everyone. Welcome to another CIS podcast with another platinum sponsor today. We're featuring Ed Edia, Ediacaran. I'm so sorry if I'm saying this incorrectly, but today we have Sophie from as a representative from the company. She's an investment professional with an expertise in asset allocation, investment strategy, and risk management. And if am I saying this, Sophie? You can jump in anytime and tell me if I'm saying the company name right. Is Edia Karen? Am I saying that correct?
That's okay. Ediacaran or
Edie Karen.
Ediacaran or
Edie
Ediacaran.
Karen. All right. It's a diversified industrial group built on the foundation of global digital services. Sorry. First of all, I apologize for saying the company name incorrectly, but thank you for joining me. As I understand, you are actually 12 hours ahead of me right now. So it is late at night, and I appreciate you for taking the time to join me for this podcast today.
Pleasure, my pleasure.
So let's start with the really quick question. Since you are 10 hours ahead of me, did you have dinner yet?
Yes,
What
and
was
I'm hoping that we are going to have this nice conversation that will send me to a good sleep.
really good? So yeah, so hopefully the conversation doesn't put you to sleep, but you'll have sweet dreams while you're sleeping.
Yes,
All
yes, I'm
right.
sure.
Fair enough. So let's start with you before we go on to the company. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I began my career as a manager in a single family office. We started by doing asset allocation and doing investment in some developing countries, some emerging markets. We started doing investments in the area of Caribbean quite some years ago, about almost 10 years ago. So we started doing asset allocation in this area. That brings us to understand the dynamics of the citizenship by investment program, and we become a early participants in this program since very early stage of since the establishment of this program. And so in the past, we primarily work with the NDF. And right now, we are seeing more and more opportunity in the booming tourism sector of this country. And so we're actually going to have an upcoming real estate development in very near future, and we're very, very excited about it.
That's wonderful. That's really good news, especially like you said, the industry has definitely changed. NDF was definitely the way to go. We were 90% donation previously, and now it seems to have switched to 90% real estate. So this is a really good time for your company to get in. Um, Quickly, so you said you started out with a smaller company. As a smaller company, did your company transition into this larger venture, or um, have you changed companies?
Yeah, so basically, we keep the same team, but we
Okay.
extend from a single family office to a larger audience
Hmm.
that we're doing business with. And also, we actually now combine with the other half of our team who are mostly doing IT and technology and digital service, even IDC. And so now the company are actually consist of two major parts. One is the technology side. The other side is for the family office style of service for high net worth individual, which includes the passport and tax planning, and also their investments and luxurious life living.
Wonderful. That's actually going to be a very good advantage for your company. I mean, just from the experience working globally in the Caribbean, there is need for a lot of streamlining of services, and the digital side of your company will be an asset to the global citizenship side as well. Hopefully, you'll come in and introduce a lot of if not programs, but different ways that we can all improve our services as a whole. And, so I'm looking forward to seeing more from your company and what it brings as far as the digital infrastructure that it has as well. That would be a great asset, actually. I don't know about you. And is Antigua the only island you work with?
Primarily in this area. Antigua is our favorites all the time.
Mine too. Sorry. Oh, I actually love let me say this, I love the entire Caribbean. We are all sisters and brothers united in the West Indies, but Antigua's the best. I'm so sorry. Anyway, um, are you personally coming to the conference this year, the CIS conference?
Yes, yes, we are going to arrive. Me and my team, we are going to arrive on 22nd of April,
Okay. Okay,
the first.
great. And if when we spoke before, you said this is not your first time. You've actually been to Antigua quite a few times, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've been exploring the island for quite some times, and the project that we're going to start, we've actually held the land for some years already, and we are always looking for the perfect timing and always trying to assemble all the resources together to be able to begin this project. So we are very excited to have ourselves ready for this project this year.
Great. Will you be able to present the project at the conference, or will that come later on?
We will present briefly because we are still at the stage doing design and filing the application to the government. So we will keep it brief at this stage, but we will have some big announcement later this year.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm always open to, um, Antigua is one of those islands that it's not an underdeveloped country, but it's not saturated with a whole bunch of projects. And as
Mhm.
long as the ones that do come in offer, you know, highlight the island, respects the environment, and brings more opportunity to the island, I think it, it's a great project. It's a great thing to do for the island. And like I said, they don't just allow any project to come in. They're very conscious. Is this project going to be um, focused on, am I still in?
Yes, I can hear you.
That's interesting. My thing is uploading. I've lost Ito. Ito, are you there? I don't know. We'll just keep talking. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So is there okay, I won't ask you too much about the project because I wanted to stay a secret so that you can, let us all know more about it once you get here. Um, do you think that with the latest news with the tariffs and the US and all of these tariffs, that that's going to have an effect on the development of your project in Antigua?
Um, Actually, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because think I don't think many of our stuff are going to be imported from US. Neither we're going to do much export to them. I mean,
Right.
one thing, although I probably cannot cover too much details about the project, but one thing I'd like to emphasize on the project is the ESG element in our design, and that's definitely something that's very dear to our heart. This island is our love, and so we wanted to really work on a project that can sustain and can work with the community. So it's the fundamental elements that we build in our design since day one. So we wanted to incorporate as much technology and as much advanced concept that we can into this project to make sure that we utilize the green energy the most, like solar panel and some intelligent water management system, etc.
Nice.
So because while we are serving some of our clients, our investors are high net worth individual, but what we are promoting is the luxurious life with sustainability. So the building and the whole deal sourcing, investments, construction, and the later sale, and also the managing of the property and the hotel are all going to have this key environmental protection idea built in this whole plan all the time.
That's amazing. And again, when you're working in the Caribbean, that is something that most developers need to focus on, or all developers need to focus on what kind of footprint and what kind of impact their development is going to be on the island. And I am very much looking forward to uh, seeing more about this project. I love the fact that you said, no, it's not going to have an impact because we're not importing anything from the US, and nor will we be, sending things over there either. That's a big thing that's been in the news lately. Like, all of these threats and all of these tariffs, the whole idea is, guess what? We don't actually have to go through the US to get the things that we need at all.
Yeah, yeah,
We can,
definitely.
you
I
know,
think
the world will
the
survive.
whole drop. Yeah, the whole drama
Yeah,
that is put by US is some strategy. I think it's more strategically played than what they are really trying to do something to really harm the global economy. So I think it will calm down eventually. But for our business, actually, it doesn't hurt us in any way. And at the same time, I think to some extent it will probably force some kind of alliance among all of the countries except for US. So pushing
exactly.
all the countries trying to buy things from each other, do business from with each other. So we actually don't see any bad side on our project.
100% agree with you. 100%. I actually look at it, and honestly, it's free advertisement for me right now because as far as American applicants, I've got more American applicants coming through into Antigua than I've ever had before. And no, I won't tell so the more he acts up, the more people want to buy properties overseas, second, plan B, vacation homes, whatever you want to call it, and including your high net worth, clients all the way down to your mom and pop savings who said, let me make another plan. So it's free advertising. And again, I also believe that it's unifying the rest of the world. It's, yeah, agree. It's a bit strange. Every day it's like a new cartoon show when you turn on the
Yeah,
TV.
it's like little kids fighting each other.
Right, right. Someone needs to make an anime of this. This would be really good. The story is
Yeah,
actually playing out. You don't even have to get creative. You just got to draw the caricatures. That's it.
definitely. Yeah.
the it's interesting because one of the focuses on the conference CIS 25 this year is the sustainability of the program. You guys have already implemented the sustainability of the future projects as well. That's something else that's worth discussing, the sustainability of the development projects, not only of the program, of the development projects. So that's another open discussion that should happen during the conference. And I hope that, when you do present your information, that makes that opens up a conversation again. I don't, you've mentioned several times about, you know, the the ESG element of your project. And I don't think I've ever heard another project come in and start with that feature. They don't start there. They might, you know, talk about it, but they don't start with that. Um, is that important? Is that a focus for your company as a whole before this project?
Yeah, because our company as a group, okay, so we have had quite some investments on the island already, and so the healthy environment and also the country as an economy body to boom as its own is a very crucial thing for us. So that's why the sustainability of this country is not just important for all the citizens here. They are very important for business people like us who have a lot of focus on this island as well. So
Right.
for us, that's environment is number one because that's we all know this is the biggest resource that we have on this island, and we are all obligated to protect it. And secondly, for the CIP program by itself, we are actually very glad to see that Europe, UK, they are working together with the CIU and also align with the central bank to make sure the high standard of due diligence is performed on every applicant. And I know it's like clients are complaining about like how rigorous the program become. I mean, not become. It's been always very rigorous all the time, and I think they complain sometimes about the time spent on the due diligence, and
Right.
we suffer as well, but but we totally not just understand but fully support and respect the process. I think that's how we can protect the program together to make sure has the highest standard of compliance, and we really are having the highest quality of people coming to the country to join the citizenship to make sure that we can have a very good sustainability of this country's economy.
Amazing. That is one of the things that I actually was going to bring up with you. Um, the program, I think a lot of clients that applied in 2024, and yes, the island says that the processing time is 90 days. A lot of them are, have been reaching out to our offices and complaining that the timeline, but when when the US put the Caribbean on a yellow list, when the EU said, okay, wait a minute, we might have to look into this further due to the number of applications. That was my response to the clients. Listen, so far we have, presented all the information to them. We have been above board in the program. It is actually harder to get a second citizenship in the Caribbean than it is to get a visa to go to the US or to the EU. It is much harder.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, the reason for some of the delays is that we have to be careful. We have to be sure it's a security reason. But that being said, do you think that the program or the islands themselves should be more vocal in their part of the delay? For instance, as a representative, you're in direct contact with the client. So you're
Mm.
going back and forth and telling the client, yes, it's still processing, it's still processing. Do you think the island itself should take the responsibility, take some of that um, communication with the clients off of your shoulders so that the client knows, okay, it's not just your word, it's actually the government who is still processing the file? Would you like more support from the government itself in that light?
I think communication wise, we're happy to take all of the responsibility to communicate with clients. But we are definitely looking for a more streamlined and digitalized process of the government.
Okay.
And because right now we can see sometimes the some of the work can be a little bit redundant, and especially when it comes to the paper version of everything, and it can and sometimes for mailing and all those things it can take a little bit more time than it should be. And so I think of course, that's at the end of the day, you will definitely need some paper version to do the authentication of things. But on the process, I think the digitalized process will help with the efficiency a lot. And also, if the government can have a more um, um, digitalized system to notify the clients about the
Yes.
progress of each of the application, like we are in this like a 30 percentage and you're at this stage, and the due diligence agents are reviewing how many of your files already. And so if they can have an update bar
Hmm.
to inform clients about the whole process, to keep this whole situation more transparent, that will be very much appreciated. I think it's going to that's actually enough for enough for the government to take off some of the things off our shoulder, just by having a system to show. They don't have to talk to the clients to take that burden on them, but just a good system would do the job.
100%. I love having conversations like this, and I wish I've been, as I'm also a local agent in Antigua, and I don't believe our voice is heard in um, the conversation as much. They have been making improvements, 100%. Not only, I believe three of the current islands have already launched new online systems and updated their systems. Um, Antigua for one. Have you guys used the new Antigua upload system yet?
I think our local agents are using that all the time,
Okay.
but we haven't got any system that can keep us updated on the progress of a client. Actually, we as a company, that because we have an IT department, we have a whole sector of IT technology. So we
Hmm.
actually make our own app for our clients that they can track their progress on our app, to understand how much documents they've submitted, anything missing, and anything that's inquiries from the CIU asking for any additional documents, and what's the progress. And we have to create a system by ourselves to take off some of the communication burden for our team. And so that's why I think this is exactly what the government should do.
Really quickly, is that app for sale?
If CRU allow us to do it, we would love to.
I'm so sorry. I'm being really selfish right now. I'm looking for my own company. I think that it's brilliant because, again, that is exactly what's missing. The only communication we have is it's still processing. That's it. That's all you get. The new
Yeah.
website for Antigua, it's it just started April 1st. So we haven't had an opportunity to really see, but it does say that we can track the progress of a file. I, I've, yeah, I've actually submitted about 6 files in the new system, but yeah, it says it. I don't know what the tracking actually is going to be. It says, for instance, right now, when you upload, um, it's the same thing. It issues a new number, a file number. And then
Mhm.
after that, once the hard copies are submitted, it's supposed to then change from upload to vetted. It's to tell you that the documents have been vetted. It says
Mm,
it's supposed to also tell you something's missing. I haven't seen it yet.
mm.
I'll let you know by the time you get here, I'll know. I'll let you know how that works.
Wonderful. That's something we're looking for as well.
Yeah,
Because right, what we can update on our end is only whatever information that we can receive from our local agent. And to be honest, it's very limited because that's how much they receive. And
right.
so usually that's why our client, they can see a lot of progress update
Hmm.
before they submit their application, because that's when we notify them what is missing and what's the progress on the preparation, because that's in our control. So we can keep them updated on daily basis, and they're happy with that. But once it passed the stage that we have to handle everything to CIU, everyone is in the black
Yeah,
box. So
that's it.
we would definitely appreciate some kind of automated communication from
That's it.
CIU.
That's it. But I'm really serious. So after this call, if you have to talk to somebody about, hey, would we be willing to sell this app or, manage this app for another client? I'm willing. I would love that. A digital way to
Definitely.
track. Yeah. So
Yeah,
we'll
we can
talk about
show you.
that.
Yeah, we can definitely show you the app when we meet.
Okay, no problem. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Um, the other, again, the other innovation, that's another topic for the conference. You guys are one step ahead, of that as well. And it would be amazing for you to present. We'll see. We'll see how the new system works, but they have to, that influx of files definitely broke the system last year.
Yeah.
Where they were processing 1,200 a year, they went close to 3,000 in 3 months. Did you guys feel the the lag in processing with your files at that time as well, or are you just experiencing the regular delays?
We definitely have a quite some delay. I know CIU has been trying their best to push things through. I can feel how much they're really trying to thrust. But I think we're really seeing clients delayed to like 1 year, sometimes
Yeah.
even over 1 year before they could even receive the interview
Mhm.
notification. So that's I think it's probably not just us. And so and I know CIU, they are trying to make sure they are very thorough on all the due diligence, and I know they are probably recruiting and trying to expand their capacity. So what we are hoping is after that they finish this batch from last year, everything
Mhm.
will go back normal track, and now they have the automated system to assist the process. I believe that they will go back to the normal track, hopefully, as they promised, 6 to 8 months.
They have, I can honestly say, and it's really interesting. You can, yes, there is a delay, and yes, we're all pushing it, but they have definitely been working around the clock. I believe they're on a 6-day work week rotation right now. Um,
Yeah,
so the original delays that were there, they're not happening anymore. Like the reason for any delay is just due to the, the fact that they're making sure that the files are processed completely. They're checking, double checking, things like that, making sure all of the documents are in, all of the documents are correct. But being
yeah.
here in Antigua, I can tell you the team and they're great. It's really funny. I don't know if your office gets emails on the weekend, and I'm like, "Oh, man," and you have to respond because the clients, like you said, the files are taking a longer time. So, yeah, on the weekend, I'm still sending emails because the CIU is working. They are definitely getting things processed. Yeah, they're definitely getting it done. And it is moving. I do see some more movement in the interviews. I do see more interviews happening. There's also a new interview. Normally, originally you received an email with 3 possible dates. Now there's also an email that's coming out with a link that the client can
Mm,
click on the link and make their own appointments based on the calendar that's available. So that's available as well. They are improving. They are definitely, you know, and they're not
yeah,
letting Yeah, and they're letting this be a teaching lesson as well. So, this happened. Okay, let's put this in place. So I do like that. Um, were you at the CIS conference? Have you gone to one of the conferences before? Were you in Grenada?
no, this is actually our first attendance.
Okay, okay. It's
Mm.
one of the things that the fact that the conference moves around. is an asset because a lot of people come and they're focused on just uh coming just for business, the business connection. But there needs to, it's really nice for them to actually come and get a connection to the island as well. And you
Mhm.
see the people, you see, some of the developments that are going on. So I think there's a benefit to, having the conference and having it move around to the different locations. It's an asset. It's hard to market something you've never experienced.
Mm, mm.
So having the
Yeah.
people come here, it's definitely a benefit. What are you looking forward to the most from the conference?
I actually, before I answer your question, I
Hmm.
actually have to say that we really respect the work of CIU because I know how much work that they have had for the past year, but they still make sure that the work is very thorough and they still run through things in a very effective way. So that's really amazing for us. And so coming to this conference, we do want to understand a little bit more about the due diligence process because we can see that they probably have several agents to do the due diligence on the applications. And sometimes we do feel that the level of details or the way the focus of their question are very different from clients to clients. Of course, that we know every client is different, but some of them that's with similar situation, they ask questions about this client and they don't ask questions about that client. And because we what we are trying to do is that we are trying to have a more uniform practice for all of our clients, and we want to be as compliant as we can. So we want to really work to prepare the clients to prepare all the documents even before submission. So that's why we really want to understand the process to see whether some of the elements that they consistently asking is going to be part of the standard procedure, even though it's probably not stated on the form, but are they going to be a standard procedure from now on? If that's the case, even though some of the due diligence ask, some of them may not ask, we will ask our clients to prepare in advance. So it's just like the standardization of the due diligence process is and the compliance process is something that we really want to understand and make sure that we comply with that.
So the good thing is you'd be happy to know there will be two due diligence providers at the event, not necessarily the ones that work for Antigua. Let me put that disclaimer out. Not necessarily the ones, but there will be two companies at the event that are also sponsors and will be speaking and presenting. I had the pleasure of interviewing them and I brought that same subject up. What exactly do you want? Because we're being, asked for this, but then I've got an example. I have two friends applied same time,
Mm-hmm.
same date. One
Mm,
has a larger family, from the same country, provided all the
mm,
same documents, but it's
yeah.
quite obvious that their files went to two different due diligence companies. One
Mm,
company requested that all of the bank statements be translated. The other
yeah.
company didn't. One company
Yeah.
asked for a different deed. They're like, well, we want the full deed and not just the deed that just says the name, who from, and the
Yeah.
amount. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Especially for some of the applications, usually they seem to be quite uniform on the main applicant. But when it comes to family dependent, sometimes they wanted to have the bank statements, sometimes they wanted to have income statement, sometimes they don't. And so we just feel a little bit confused, like whether the income or the source of funds of the dependent are going to be important or not. And so that's something I think they were not required before and seems to be a new addition to the procedure. If it's standardized, that's okay. We will just prepare our clients every time, but we just wanted to understand.
They actually made a few changes. I agree. So, in the past, on the financial, the net worth section, because there isn't a requirement for net worth. If you're using your last dollars to pay for this, you can use that. That's not what we want, but you can.
Hmm.
There isn't a requirement for the net worth. In the
Hmm.
past, you were allowed to put an estimate amount for the bank investment and real estate. Now they're asking actually for you to be really specific and,
Yeah.
you know, down to the dollar. And it's almost like, yeah, but that's today. That's not going to be tomorrow. It changes. So I agree. They're definitely, and when they do make a change, they should be they should put something out and say, okay, listen, going forward, we need A, B, and C. They don't, yeah, they have made some changes. And again, we're not upset about the changes, but
Hmm.
yeah, and it's not a standard because they're not all asking for the same thing.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
right.
That's
You're definitely correct. Um, let's just say that you could wave a magic wand and this program uh can be can develop in any way you'd like. What would you like to see in the next month?
I want it to be I wanted to be able to finish the process within 3 months. So they can give approval in 3 months. If like do the same due diligence, but just finish them in 3 months.
Right. It's simple, right? If you're
Yeah.
going to say 90 days, here, let me wave my magic wand. 90 days, hands down. I would
Yeah.
even like 90 days to the interview. If we, because the interview is new. So let's keep the 90 days, but 90 days when you get your interview invite. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would,
90 days, no matter what, either you got rejected or you just got an interview. That's good enough.
yeah. And you said you've been working in Antigua for a long time. Do you remember when they actually used to send out delay letters after the 90? You used to, in 90 days, you used to get a letter that said, okay, we're still
Yeah.
processing, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they should bring that back.
Yeah.
Charmaine, if
Yeah.
you're listening, bring that back.
Yeah.
Bring back the delay
We
letter.
know
We like those.
you've been working very, very hard, so I
They
don't want to
are.
add more pressure to her. Yeah, but I think some more frequent update from CIU and also a little bit push on the process will be very much appreciated.
Correct. Correct. And interestingly enough, it'd be interesting to find out if, do they have certain time demands on the due diligence company? And, maybe that's that's another thing that they should introduce, like making sure that the due diligence is not the CIU itself, but the companies that are doing the reviews actually get back to them in a timely manner. You know, that would be interesting. And I know we're not supposed to know who they are. That's really, we're not
Yeah.
we're not supposed to know who those companies are at all. Where
Mhm.
do you see AI being an asset or a deterrence for the future in this program?
So I know that many sectors have been utilizing AI in their data screening, especially for those risk management. Some of the especially when they're trying to use some keywords to pick up some scam or pick up some to do some AML, like anti-money laundering type of procedure. So
Yeah.
many of the institutes that I know that they have already incorporated the AI into their workflow for those standard procedure already, either for operation or for screening process or for some kind of risk management. So and we, as a technology part of our side, as in the technology sector, we have of course employed AI in almost all part of our workflow. And so I can definitely see how the AI technology can easily be utilized in the due diligence. They probably have already done that already. They're probably combining the AI together with some kind of program to scan through the internet for the data searching for any individual. They're probably already doing that because I think that, but I hope that they can be more efficient in a way that they can save a lot of repetitive work from human being. So that should probably um, expedite the process as well.
That would be, I agree. Again, you have everything. Listen, I can't wait to hear you speak at the conference because you're literally stating everything that from a provider side that we're all in unison. We all agree. We're all looking for the same thing. We're
Mhm.
definitely all. So did you see an impact where the region made the agreement to all have their fees and amounts, government fees, to be in line with each other? Um, CIS emphasizes the regional collaboration. So with that first stage, do you see more collaboration happening in the future between the different islands?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I think it's better for all the islands to work together to compete in a healthy way rather than trying to just compete in price or just compete in how quickly they can finish the process. Although we do want efficiency, we do want quick process, but you don't
Right.
want it quick to to bring any damage to the quality of work. And so I think it's always good like if the five of the countries come up together and design some kind of feature for each of the program, and then each of them can go out and sell to their targeted clients, so they don't need to have face-to-face battle to each other by
Right.
competing only or speed only. And because I think these countries they are similar in especially looking from outside this perspective. Some of the people that we talk to, they even cannot differentiate each of the country. And so then when the salespeople are trying to present any of the program to a client, they will
Mhm.
probably just pick the one. Some might go for, oh, this client is price sensitive. Okay, let's just go with the lowest price. Some people wanted to have a real estate. Okay, just go for the real estate. That's okay. But when it comes to the difference among the different countries, um, there aren't any feature that can really go as a selling point of any particular country in a more positive way, because you can say, oh, this country, they are cheaper, or oh, this country, they might have let's say slightly faster process. They might say, but if let's say we differentiate in a way saying, oh, this country is better for family, let's say, okay, so we have a better group price that you can definitely, and we have the process designed to really look into a family. So when you have a family coming together, this is the better country for you. Or you have another country saying, oh, this is the country that is better for a family with students because they have a like a, let's say, student visa come with that,
Right.
etc. Okay, or something like that. I don't really think through about this, but I just feel like uh, it's better for these countries to sit down together and to have a feature for each of the country so they can compete in a more healthy way.
Listen, agreed. I also think they would benefit from having a unified board to actually hold them accountable as well. Make sure the standards are all being met. Like you said, we're all in this together, and all the islands are offering the same thing, and we all want to maintain the program. So, that would be another asset as well. Do you
Yeah,
see?
definitely.
How do you think Ediacaran Am I saying it right? Did I say it right?
Yeah,
Okay.
very good.
How do you see them working and contributing to the bigger picture of economic growth in the Caribbean?
So first of all, we have this IT sector that we stand ready to provide our expertise at any moment if any of the country would like us to provide some type of system upgrade or build some system for their program. And so we definitely have the mature team and also very cost effective workflow to provide this type of service. And secondly, we did work on some of the IDC data center before. That is the really the infrastructure part for technology. And so we are also looking for opportunities in this region, although it might be a little bit not very economic. It doesn't make much economic sense to build a big data center in this region, considering the population.
Mhm.
But some small scale localized utilization of the technology might still benefit these countries. And last but not least, that we have quite good connections and access to high net worth individuals and companies that are interested in this region. So we are always trying to work to bring more investor to this region.
So I'm just going to put this out there just in case your company is interested. We need a really good tech store, tech supplier in the Caribbean. Most of the people here, you actually pick up your technology when you're traveling and you bring it back in with you. Um, so if there's ever work that needs to be done on it, it's really hard. You've got to leave the country and get the work done and come back and you know. Uh, and for those people, I'm just anyone listening that's coming to the conference, there's no Apple store on island, so come with your backup. If you're an Apple user or a Mac user, come with your backup cords, cables, and everything because we don't have an Apple store if anything happens. It's it.
Okay.
So, looking toward the future after 2025, what are the critical priorities for ensuring a long-term sustainability and success of Caribbean investment migration programs? What do you think, in the future, what do you think will keep this, make it sustainable?
So as we briefly discussed earlier, I think, of course, number one, which is also the theme of this summit this year, compliance is definitely never can never be overemphasized, especially if facing the global environment of these uh, some of the local conflicts and some of the tensions that we have among different countries. Making sure that we hold the highest standard will definitely make this whole program for all of the countries to survive the longest, no matter the pressure could come from any direction. So that's definitely number one. And for number two, sustainability wise, I think every country, when they have their funds received from those applications, where to allocate those funds will also determine the long term fate of the country. Because when you have those funds coming into a country, if these funds are properly allocated to infrastructure, to people's well-being, and to the overall development in a in a sustainable way for this country, then more and more tourists and investor will be attracted, and that will facilitate the sale of the program even better, and then it will form a virtual cycle. So I think the usage of the money will determine the longer term sustainability of this whole program.
Agreed. Agreed. Do you think by any chance we need a $5 million gold card uh, to offer the high net worth client?
I don't know. I mean, uh, at the end of the day, it's US. They do stand as number one country in the world, so we probably cannot compete in the price, but we can definitely offer something unique. What the program has to offer at this moment, I think it's already very attractive. Especially now we have a lot of elements built in already. You can either choose to donate to make this country more beautiful by putting your money into NDF, or you can have ownership of your own property. Or if you look into the future development of the country, you can invest in the business. So I think all of the elements are beautifully incorporated into the formula already, and it's been carefully designed. I just hope that we can keep this program going for all of the countries forever.
Believe we should. I believe we will. Really quickly, do you think that the islands do a good job at telling the applicants or marketing agents, representatives, what the donations are actually put towards on the islands? Do you think they do a good job at that?
Um, I know for Antigua, like you have a special donation program for the university, so that's very specific, and I know that's a very successful program by itself. And for others, that I know that those funds are used for the infrastructure, basically, and the fundamental uh, um, welfare of the country. But I know that usually in the countries, like an annual report of the government, like fiscal report of the government, they always do report. But I don't think those investors or the donations application the donation applicants, they are aware of that, so maybe have some article put under the CIU website will be helpful, so they know that they're not just getting their citizenship, but they are also doing something good for this country.
I agree. That would be, it would be even more beneficial because there are a lot of people when they want to talk negatively, interesting, I
Mhm.
can't talk today, about the program. The quickest thing people say is, "Oh, you're selling passports." That is not what we're doing. That is
Mhm.
definitely not what we're doing at all.
Mhm.
We are definitely helping each of these countries are developing,
Yeah,
and it's a win-win for both the country and the person obtaining the passport. They now have access for their children, for themselves, for their business, personally, to go into places that they would not necessarily have access to. So, you know,
I definitely. And the best part that I like about the Antigua citizenship is that the 5 day residency requirement. Although I know our clients complain about it all the time, but this is really something that brings you genuine connection to this country, and so, and when you go through the custom, when you go through the immigration, you know what to talk about this country. And so, this is really, I think, something, although not the easiest thing to convince our clients, but something that we believe that really rank this country as a very sustainable program.
so interestingly enough, I don't know, in your experience, yes, the clients do complain about the 5 day stay, but I want to say 7 out of 10 times when they come to visit, they want to get a place or they end up saying, "Oh, I'm coming back. I'm coming back."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The charm of the islands is it's non-negotiable. So I think this is the way to force them to come, and this is the best for this country.
It is. It definitely is. Okay, so you have definitely given us a lot to think about, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing and hearing more about the project. Is there anything else you'd like to let us know before we go today?
No, I just want to express my great gratitude to you to allow us this opportunity to voice our opinion on this program and also to introduce about our company. Really appreciate your time and patience. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much for joining me. And I know it's super late for you right now. So, again, everyone, this is Sophie from Ediacaran, and you see her at CIS 25 in the next, it's just next week. It's around the corner. We'll be seeing you soon.
Yes, looking
All right.
forward.
No problem. All right. Good night. Sleep tight.
Good night. Hey, have a good day. I mean, thank you.
No problem.